Hello, I am your host, Crafty Andy, and we are going to be playing some Ken Foley's Pillars of the Earth Church Boy Adventure. We play as various characters, including a Catholic priest that's not touching little boys. Go figure, I know it's a strange concept these days. As always, you can check out the Crafty Arts channel. You can also check out my face as soon as I put on the video camera here. Where is it? Go to edit. Editor. Editor, there you are. There's a good boy. Let's get the video camera up. Video capture device. Why am I so dark? Oh, yeah, that's right, because we need to actually brighten things up. Ah, there we go. Looking good. I need a haircut. I so need a haircut. Test the chat. Drink my pep juice. I just woke up. Yep, updating Steam. Let's get this started. Yeah, I guess I should share the link. Okay, Steam is loaded up. And last time, remember, uh, man, I don't remember any of the characters' names. Steam is loaded. I remember a girl's kid was born. It wasn't hers. I mean, not wasn't hers. It wasn't her husband at the time, so he just up and left. So she was just going on a boat to go on some adventure. Hopefully, it was a recap. Let's get a little recap. I hope. One of these days, I'll have to edit like highlights for this stuff, but you know, all in good time. All in good time. And when I finished it, the final chapter wasn't out yet, and now it's out. Okay, so this is a good sound test. Yeah, I know how the autosave feature works. Okay, so yeah, we've finished chapters 8 through 14, building the cathedral. There's a rival cathedral with an evil pastor who probably doesn't believe in Jesus. And our main pastor, the main character, he lost his faith, rightfully so, because reality set in finally. things together here. Oh, that's right. We need to connect to the chat properly here. I am using a stream bitrate of 2500. What the fuck you complaining about? Fine, whatever. Okay, let's get this going. There it goes. How you doing? Close that shit. Alright, let's hit continue and hopefully we got everything up here. Oh my god. Can we go to my thank you? Alright. Are we displaying? Whoa. That looks a little odd. Let's see. Fit to screen? That seemed like a good idea. Ah, there we go. Where were we on this? Okay, King's British leaving his comb. Aliena's, that's it. Aliena had a baby. Her husband just left because it wasn't his. Because, you know, that's how things work in medieval times. Chapter 7 of 7. Book 2 progress. It's been cold for hours, or we should be getting going. Father's dagger, I'm keeping it in your spine. Yeah, they had a wool business. It's all gone. Or some guy, I forgot his name, who's not only a villain, but of course he's gay. Or actually bisexual. Trying to win this girl over by killing everyone that she loves. Alright, well, we're heading outside here. It is time to leave.
We will build a cathedral right here, towering
In
high
Shiring.
above Shiring. But it will not be a cheap undertaking.
Money is no object. I shall build it for our Lord and my mother.
You guys gotten such,
So that the
become
Lord
such a
will
bastard.
I am sure he will.
Yeah, right.
Ah, yes, there he is.
Who?
We will need a master builder.
My bishop, I think I have the right man.
Oh, of course, the bumbling fool.
My bishop, my name is Alfred Builder.
Alfred Builder, the one who was working on the other cathedral. The good cathedral. Even though that priest that he's talking to actually poisoned that guy's mother. Turn this up a bit. There we go. You try to be kind during the breakup with Jack. You believe God is unjust. You chose a bear for your coat of arms. You supported Alfred's idea to ensure the workers. In your marriage with Alfred, you struggle not to lose hope. You left Kingsbridge for good. You finished book 2. And let's see how that sounds. Alfred's idea to ensure the workers. In your marriage with Alfred, you struggle not to lose hope. You left Kingsbridge for good. You finished book 2. That sounded pretty good. Okay. Let's continue on to book 3 finally. After, I don't know how long since it's been I played this game. I hate to think how long it's been. Oh boy. Anyways. Get back there.
Next time on The Pillars of the Earth. Witness the climactic final part of the series.
Yes.
It's time we take back what was taken from us.
It's time to face our enemies.
It is time to make a stand for what we believe in.
Or don't believe in.
The Pillars of the Earth. Book 3. The Eye of the Storm.
Alright. Yeah, we don't need the credits.
The White Ship. She was one of the fastest vessels that was ever built. The man who should be king of the English now, the son of King Henry, was on board when she sailed off. And with the prince there were 140 knights and many nobles, all on their way from Normandy to England. They say the ship hit the rocks, and then a fire broke out. Even before the White Ship had departed, the prince and his men had begun to drink and get violent. Monks that were meant to bless the voyage were then forced to disembark. Some say the ship had been cursed. The king's
No such thing as
son,
curses.
many of his family, were pulled down into the Black Sea that night.
$11:42.
You're forgetting one important detail. Not only these monks, but also Stephen of Blois, the king's nephew, left the ship before it embarked. They say he got ill.
That old rumor.
The same Stephen who calls himself the King of the English now.
What? That cannot be a coincidence.
Yes, it can be. Of course he's king now. He survived. He is the king's nephew.
What do you think, my lord?
I think Stephen is a clever man. Clever enough to have his whole family perish. But why you would want to rule that godforsaken rock, I will never understand.
Ruling's
What makes you say
ruling.
that? I love my country.
Then why are you leaving?
Well, because I want to see something new.
I'll tell you what you're going to see. A proper country, where people know how to behave.
Yeah, the same as everyone else.
What about you? Why are you leaving?
Oh, my baby's daddy left me. I have no reason to stay.
I had no reason to stay.
Really? Huh. I guess I should stay out of other people's business. Forgive me.
You English do talk a lot, don't you?
I just don't know how to feel about leaving my country for the first time. I mean, how should anyone feel?
You'll see what happens. Excited, I
I don't
guess.
know. Maybe I'm just running away.
You should all get some rest. It will not be long now till we reach Cherbourg.
Thank the Lord. I can't wait to be back.
Cherbourg. Yes, 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 you present. It's always a lovely sight. Get those drum beats going. The silhouettes. Too bad there is no dragons in this game. I mean, it's based on real life. So we should have people riding dinosaurs. Oh, it's nice to see a familiar face here. Conflates the pillars of the earth. That's it. That's the game we're playing right now. That's it. That's what we're doing. Book 3, The Eye of the Storm. Chapter 15. The Journey of There and Back Again. Cherbourg, Normandy.
In the late summer of 1142, I had left my home country, England, for good. My old life lay in shambles, as did my former home of Kingsbridge. Having failed both my friends and family, I had set out to find my baby's father, the man I still loved with all my heart, Jack Jackson.
Yes.
And so early one morning in
One
July,
who was exiled.
I finally arrived on the shores of Normandy.
Well, he actually ran away.
With nothing on me but a pouch of coin and a young, curious face yet unnamed, who was just as unfamiliar to this new world as was I.
White shipped, I shall expect, but let's fix my face here. There's no reason. In the there we go. I guess I should be fine over there. I just don't want to block any of the game. In fact, let's just shrink myself down, huh? There we go. I'm a tiny little guy. Let's make it big again. Fuck it. Fuck it. The White Ship. One of the fastest ships of its time, it was steered by the son of the captain of Mora, the ship that brought William the Conqueror from Normandy in England when he invaded England in 1066. Like his father before him, the captain of the White Ship gladly offered his vessel to many members of the royal household of King Henry for passage on their travel from Normandy to England to visit the king. Like all of the poor souls who went aboard the ship, the captain did not survive the voyage. In the dark of night, the ship hit rocks and a fire broke out. The ship was dragged down into the dark abyss of the sea. And with it, many of the king's heirs. Stephen of Blois was meant to be on board as well, but it is said a sudden sickness caused him to leave the ship before it set sail. That November night, as the white ship sank, Stephen became the last remaining male heir to the English throne, and thus some claim he was responsible for the sinking. Naturally, of course. I mean, if it's something, some tragic event works out in your favor, people are going to automatically suspect that you had something to do with it, no matter how unlikely or likely, really. Let's make sure the resolution's where it needs to be. Alright. Alright, let's talk to Mason.
You're still here.
Oh, it's you.
Sexual
I'm just
harassment, you're
trying
talking to
get
me.
my feet used to good solid ground again. The last bit of our voyage wasn't exactly my pint of ale.
You're Mason, right?
That hammer you're carrying, do you happen to be a mason?
Actually, I am. You have a keen eye, mistress.
I guess I just know a mason when I see one.
To be honest, I haven't been one long. Just finished my
He's
apprenticeship.
a
in
Freemason,
sorcery. Before
conspirator.
that, I used to shear sheep with my parents, but I guess that wasn't really for me. Father still hates me for leaving, though.
I left my
I
old life.
left my old life as well.
Scary, isn't it? To start off fresh and all that.
Well, you definitely sound more excited than scared.
Oh, I am excited. Wouldn't anyone be?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm looking for someone. A red-haired mason called Jack Jackson. He came to France about a year ago or so.
A fellow mason, great. Unfortunately, I wouldn't know a thing. After all, I just arrived here with you.
I know, but should you meet someone like that on your journey, tell him Aliena of Shiring is looking for him.
All right. Jack Jackson. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Thank you.
I'm sure you will.
What will you do to find work here as a mason?
Don't know. That's for me to find out. All I heard was that the wages are better over here.
So you'll just travel from town to town and look for employment?
That's how it works.
Right. And I'll start in Lassay. A fellow mason told me about the abbey there. He said these Normans build their churches quite differently than we do back home. I need to see that with my own eyes. Maybe learn a thing or two.
The Abbey in Lassay. Well, it's been about a year since you last saw him. I mean, come on. I don't know how much time you expect him to remember.
Do many masons go to
But
Lassay?
gotta start somewhere, I guess.
I don't know. It's really just a tiny town.
So you can slap this
Mason
baby on
told me
him.
just happened to do some repairs there once. It's likely he told others as well.
Get some child support out of him. Some alimony, at least.
Have a safe journey.
Oh, thank you. You too.
He's a nice man. He's a nice little boy. I won't give the baby a name until I found Jack. The Amours. What is this? I'm gonna inspect. The first ship in the morning. As possible. Yeah, all these notes. Okay. I will never find Jack again. Will I ever find Jack again? Maybe Jack went to see the Abbey in Lassay. A lot of fighting for that castle. Interesting. Well, let's mosey on our way over here. Not Jack. Just not Jack.
Good day. I am looking for someone. A traveler who came through here last summer.
Like he would remember.
Oh, hush now. I need to talk to this man.
Looks young.
He was born at the beginning of summer.
What's his name?
I haven't given him one yet.
You should. He needs to know who he is. Makes growing up a lot easier.
Anyways, not Jack.
You said you're looking for someone.
The man I'm looking for looks a bit like you, actually. A bit more boyish, though.
So he has red hair, but no beard. Well, I don't know every redhead around these parts. There are quite a few of us. Most of my family here in Cherbourg is ginger.
It has no
His
soul.
name is Jack Jackson, and he is a mason.
No, sorry. I haven't seen him. And I come here every day. Maybe Amaze saw him. She helps the sailors get their cargo to the nearby towns. Carries travelers, too.
I'll ask her. Well, thank you.
I don't want to say I'm looking for his father. It makes it sound like he's a deadbeat. He just didn't even know that he impregnated her. See, you got a stall. They're bargaining for passage. Doing business with the English must pay.
No, maybe I should just...
Well, let's get going. Going. Can we go in the stall? No. I guess we can talk to the coachwoman.
Hey, you. That's quite a bundle you got there. Where are you headed?
Road to Lessay.
Do you know the road to Lessay?
Lessay.
Been there,
That's how I
seen it.
properly see it.
But I hope you're not planning to go there on foot. Tell you what, you give me some coins and I'll treat you to me wagon. You can even change your destination once we're on the road. What'd you say?
Let's go.
All right. Take me out of town.
All right. Where'd you need to be?
Can I go anywhere else? Okay, good. Just can't fuck up and go to the Abbey.
Lessay was tiny, but as it turned out, worth the trip. In the small abbey church of the Trinity, I met a monk who claimed to have talked to a man fitting Jack's description. He'd been fascinated by the abbey's rib vaulting and had asked the monks countless questions about the place's construction. The monk apologized that he couldn't tell me where Jack had traveled next, but I didn't mind.
So many wonderful sights.
I lay down to sleep on the floor of the Abbey guest house, and for the first time in almost a year, I felt relief. As I drifted into sleep, I hugged our baby tight and whispered into his tiny pink ear, "We're going to find your daddy."
Yeah, the Catholic cathedrals actually used to house homeless people and travelers and everything. It was kind of a stop for everybody. A little more useful back then. Continue on. Le Mans. Follow the pilgrims to Mont Saint Michael. Oh boy, it's a huge place. Well, let's go to Mount Saint Michael.
My father had once told me tales of the Mont Saint-Michel.
Mont
Long
Saint
ago,
Michel, whatever.
the Archangel Michael had urged Hubert of Avranches to build an abbey on a lonely rock on the ocean by burning a hole into his head. They say one can go and see his penetrated skull on display in the church of his hometown.
That's a little bit of bullshit to me. That's okay.
It was a windy day when I arrived, and the place was crowded with pilgrims and jongleurs. I remembered Jack's fascination with these tellers of stories. I spoke to one who was just taking a break. As it happened, he had indeed met Jack, although not in Mont Saint Michel, but on a road heading east from there. Apparently, Jack had been hopelessly tracking jongleurs who might have known his father, Jack Cherbourg. But as he'd been gradually running out of money, he'd intended to look for work in Le Mans or Tours. That was about 6 months ago. I was catching up.
All right. I think people's memories are pretty good. Maybe he went to Tours, but we're gonna stop at Le Mans. Okay. Go through all
Going
the
to Le Mans
places.
reminded me of all the trouble I'd left behind in England. 30 years ago, Le Mans had been conquered by the Plantagenet Geoffrey of Anjou, Maud's husband. And although they'd held it ever since, other noble families kept on pulling at the city, like Maud and Stephen tearing at England. There was no sign of Jack, but I got news of a new kind of cathedral being built in Saint-Denis, just north of Paris. It was possible that Jack had gone there to learn from the craftsmen. That was, if he hadn't travelled further south, looking for work in one of the many churches in Tours, the hometown of Saint-Martin.
Alright, let's go to Tours first. Then we'll go to St. After 2 months on the road. Damn. Forget how long it takes to actually travel without vehicles. It's a birdie. Look on the birdie. The ones Tom used to make back in Kingsbridge. Everything feels so far away now. Important looking man seems self-assured. A bit of anger on his lip though. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk to me. Well, his eye looks very different. Being a mother's not easy. Guess we're going to talk to him.
Good day. Are you the master builder?
What is it?
I'm looking for a mason who may have passed through here. An Englishman with carroty hair. He calls himself Jack Jackson.
Jackson of Jacksonville, Jackson.
A redhead?
Yes. Did you see him? He might have asked for work here.
No, I'm not looking for new masons. We're just doing repairs.
He wasn't. We're looking for work for him.
Was he here?
No, never seen him. Now, stand back, woman. Something could fall on your baby's head.
I realize I'm getting overblown here. There we go. That looks a little better. I was told he came here.
I was told he wanted to come here.
Well, maybe he changed his mind.
Perhaps. What are you gonna say?
Sure you haven't seen him?
Keep pressuring the man.
I am.
Are there other construction sites around Tours?
Well, yes. It's a big town.
And where would an outsider most likely find a job?
Dunno. Ask around.
I don't believe you, or you hesitated when I mentioned a redhead. Let's just play with him a little bit.
You hesitated when I mentioned a redhead. Are you sure you haven't seen him?
Yes, I am sure.
So sure, huh? But are you sure?
All right, he was here.
Ah!
Was working for me.
Nailed him.
And I had to throw him out after 2 or 3 days.
Why?
Because he was all want. Let me redesign the roof, let me make the nave lighter. All pretty ideas, but he never shut up long enough to do the work he was supposed to do. Shit, that man was almost as needy as my son when he was still a brat.
He does know a lot about his craft.
Well, I know masons like him. They grow up gifted, but without a mote of discipline in their guts. Can't work with someone like that.
Do you know where he went next?
No idea.
Should shut up and keep his ideas to himself, huh?
Angoulême, maybe even to La Rochelle. Seemed to have plans for every cathedral on God's green earth, but none for himself.
I understand. I'll leave you to it then.
Bon voyage.
Out of here. Oh, I can't go to the Paris area? Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's try the area where there's a new cathedral.
We had just left Tours when I suddenly felt dizzy. I stopped and made rest, trying to catch my breath, then lost my breakfast in a ditch at the side of the road.
Oh, promising.
To my horror, our baby too had grown pale, his breath shallow like that of an old man. I tried not to panic, but the next inn was a long distance away and we couldn't stay on the road where it was wet and cold. I managed to walk until the sun had fully risen before I keeled over. A knife merchant who'd been traveling behind me flagged down a coach heading back to Tours and haggled with the coachman to carry me back to an inn.
Oh shit, I guess we're not leaving.
Back in Tours, the fever got worse. I remember people carrying me into a room, laying me on a bed. I tried to feed my baby, but after that everything turned into a blur. When I awoke, Jack was standing next to my bed.
What you doing with my baby?
He scolded me for following him. You know you could go anywhere you want, he whispered. Why be stupid and follow me?
Because there's nothing left at the original area?
I tried to answer, but he just opened the window and jumped out, heading toward ancient Greece, or maybe all the way to Arabia. And in my feverish mind, I followed him.
I'll follow you to the ends of the earth. Cradle of civilization, birthplace of philosophy. Oh, so we're in a feverish nightmare here. Make a decision between either Arabia or Greece. Well, considering how intelligent Arabia used to be back then, sounds like a good idea.
The further I went, the angrier I got. For years, I'd been fighting for my family. I'd committed myself to an oath to my father. I'd built up a business to sustain it, and even married a man I despised so I could create a future for the people around me.
Yep, life's not fair, is it?
I'd known nothing but my duty to the men in my life, while the man I was trying to find lived a life of casual irresponsibility. He traveled the world on a whim to learn about mathematics and philosophy, while I had to raise the child he'd fathered. When could I ever do anything just for myself? I asked the world as I went on.
Alright, back to Kingsbridge. A site of great failure.
I traveled in a circle all the way to the edge of the world and back, only to return to the place of our failure. With my eyes closed, I listened to the sound of ripping yarn and crumbling walls, and of coaches carrying good people away into a cloud of crimson dust. When the last moat had settled, I opened my eyes again and found myself in a dirty little room. An old maid was sitting next to my bed and smiled at me, then handed me my baby. Oh, dear God, he still looked so pale.
I don't know, feed him? Keep him warm? Probably keep him warm.
The more I tried to keep him warm, the colder he felt. Oh, please, God, let him live. Don't punish him for my own sins. I gently caressed his head until finally he put his mouth to my breast and drank more and more, becoming greedier with every swallow. We had both been spared. We rested one more day. Then I gathered my things and headed back to the cathedral to thank the Lord for his mercy.
Okay, let's thank the Lord for not killing us, even though he's the one that gave... Even though it'd be nice if he didn't give us the fever in the first place.
I thank you, dear Lord.
For giving me a fever.
Right, steady
I thank
now.
you for having spared my child.
Oh,
I thank
wow.
you for...
Don't let go until it's done.
And...
But why are you showing mercy on me? I failed everyone I cared about. I failed Jack. I failed my brother. And if I never return, I would also break the oath I had given Father. It's just that I feel like I've never had a life of my own. I've always fought for others. And this may be the very first time that I fight for something that I only want for myself. Maybe I should just go back and help rebuild Kingsbridge. Maybe Jack doesn't even care for me anymore. Amen. Huh. I've seen one of those before.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Ah, Jack's
the man
work.
who did that really had it in him.
I agree. He always did.
Oh, you knew Master Jacques.
Yes, but it's been a while since I last saw him.
It's a shame that the Master let him go. In just 1 month, he did so many things.
What did he do?
What did he do?
He came up with ideas for how to make
Oh, shit.
the construction easier. But the Master didn't want to hear it. To tell you the truth, everyone thinks the last thing Jack did was carve that corbel. It was the one thing the Master let him do. Then when he was done, he was asked to leave.
Master said he had no discipline. And it bears so much pain.
It bears so much pain.
I know. Jacques worked very hard on it. He was impatient and had a temper, but you could see that he tried to overcome it. Conquering that rock was very important to him.
Oh, I understand that so well. Do you happen to know where he went next?
He wanted to walk the pilgrim trail to Santiago de Compostela.
The Camino? The Way of St. James?
He said he might find someone there who knew his father.
Just one more thing. How was he when he left?
Alive.
Never thought about that. Relieved, I guess. He seemed ready for something new.
Thank you so much for your help.
Think nothing of it. and good luck on your travels. May you find what you are looking for.
I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Isn't it odd? Just when you stop looking, you come across the most curious of things. Like these 3 devices that one of my merchants brought back from Baghdad.
Baghdad, that's how you've been supposed to say it, okay.
Oh no. Is it another one of your Banu Musa toys, Rashid?
Rashid.
They're not toys, Adriel. They're objects
Kind of a stereotypical
scholarly
name at this point,
ingenuity
right?
and reflection.
I will let my valued friend from the north do the honors.
Hello, it's Jack Jacksonson Jack.
Jack, if you may.
May what? A Jew, a Muslim, and a converted Christian.
For one,
Yet their
let me draw
quarrels
your
are always
attention to
playful.
a magnificent songbird on the table.
So they decide to kill each other for their differences.
And then to that wondrous donkey next to the entrance. Although the most astounding thing of all stands right between them.
That statuette.
Haha, precisely.
Statue of a lady?
One thing at a time. Let us let Jack decide what to demonstrate first.
Very appropriate. See, bowl with water, songbird device, small container, statue of a lady. One of Rashid's new toys is from a country far east of here. It runs with water alone.
He likes to take his time, doesn't he?
No one knows how she works, eh?
On second thought, why don't you save the lady for last? Otherwise, the other 2 devices might appear bland and boring in comparison.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
What is he doing now?
No, it's too heavy. Not much, I suppose.
Filled with water. Mount for water bowl. Make the songbird work with steam.
And now? Now, Jack will heat the water in the tank.
Actually, since this is... There we go. Pour the water in the donkey. That one only needs water. You gonna do something?
Now, watch the head. Just any moment now. There. Did you see? It threw up.
Rashid, this is disgusting.
Oh, far from it.
You're easily disgusted.
Would you kindly explain how it works, Jack?
It's pure magic. What do you mean? It's magic. I'll explain it like a good boy.
Floating on top of the water. At the bottom of that bowl is a small hole. Through it, the bowl is slowly filled with liquid. Once it's full, it sinks, pulling a string which makes the ball drop onto a weight. This, in return, pulls the bowl up again, emptying it in the process.
Thus resetting the entire mechanism.
If you timed it perfectly, you could make it drop a ball at every hour.
Turning it into a clock. How clever.
For me, it's still nothing more than a puking donkey.
Show us more, Rashid.
Anyone care for some tea?
Fuck your tea, Smash.
We will have some as soon as Jack has finished our presentation.
Mind if I watch?
Of course not.
You're a woman after all. Get the hell out of here. Sorry, medieval
So,
times.
Who is this man, Rashid?
Built the bowl, make the songbird work now.
Jack is a friend of the house.
I could watch this man scoop up water all day.
A brilliant man, a scholar and a talented artist. Just the other day, he explained
Simple puzzles.
What is that?
That was a fart.
What is that?
a Greek who wrote a book called The Elements of Geometry. The Egyptians translated it into Arabic, and now the Englishmen are turning it into Latin. It's so beautiful it will make you cry. Just listen.
Sure it is. Manu Musa. The Banu Musa brothers were 3 scholars of Persian descent. Oh, they're actually real. Who lived in Baghdad in the 9th century. They are known for the Book of Ingenious Devices, a large illustrated collection of mechanical appliances and automata. These automata were largely designed for entertainment, but featured innovative engineering. The brothers also wrote books of astronomy, astrology, and geometry, the last of which had a great influence on both Islamic and European mathematics. Yeah, because last I checked, astrology was,
Well, how marvelous!
a little bit of bullshit.
How does it work?
Maybe it's a miracle.
Yeah, it's magic. Witch! Burn the witch!
Go on, Jack. Tell them.
He's a witch! He eat the poo-poo! Possessed by an evil
There's
spirit.
a hidden wheel inside the box. It turns an axle that in return raises and drops a sequence of small cylinders inside. These cylinders work like fingers.
Should have
playing
picked
flute.
that. That would have just been like a nice little
Who is
comedic
blowing
clip.
into the flute? Steam. Steam? Yes. When I opened the pipe, it gradually pushed itself into the tube.
The power of steam. For once, I must agree. This is brilliant.
Of course! It was created by a Muslim after all.
Yes, Muslims are the center of its
Let's
intelligence.
not get ahead of ourselves. What else have you got, Rashid?
At least back then.
One could join those two and build a singing donkey clock. One song after every hour.
Pretty clever.
That would be pretty clever.
I know, right?
Also annoying.
You could be the one to build
Clever
it.
and annoying.
Oh, that would be unfair. It's your invention.
I would let you have it. Or we design it together.
You still haven't shown us that statuette yet.
Oh, this old thing's knocks it down. Stomps it.
Jack, if you may.
How very peculiar.
You will love
I'll just take this and just put it in my pocket. I need to put it somewhere cold. There we go. Okay, this looks cold enough, I guess. Just move it slightly to the left.
And now?
Just be patient, but don't look away. It takes some time for her to...
Flash.
To do what?
Hmm? Is it crying?
Isn't that amazing?
No, it's irritating. Rashid, what is going on?
We don't know. It's a mystery.
We have no idea how it works.
Rashid, please.
We all know that there is no such thing as a man-made miracle.
And this piece of wood is very clearly made by man.
I very much agree, my friends. But so far, none of us has an explanation.
Hey, if you have no explanation, it must be
All we
God.
know for certain is that her glassy eyes shed tears when you move her from warmth into cold.
Like a plant at sunrise. Like dew. The only difference is the surface. That's all.
Go on.
I think you may be onto something.
Am I? Of course, I had no intention of disturbing your conversation. But if you can find out why there's dew gathering on a plant, you may understand why that woman is so weepy. So, who wants a cup of tea?
I'll have some.
Your daughter is quite something, Rashid. A scholar in her own right.
An intelligent woman?
I know. I'd rather she wasn't.
Yeah.
It would make marrying her off so much easier.
Yeah, not being independent and thinking for herself.
Problem for long. Maybe the dew originates from invisible water in the air. Water that stays hidden when it's hot.
3 months later.
The pilgrim trails across France converged at Osterbat, in the foothills of the Pyrenees. There, the group of 20 or so pilgrims who had been travelling alongside me since I'd left Tours swelled to about 70. Some were prosperous citizens, some probably on the run from justice, a few drunks, and several monks and clergymen. Several languages were spoken, including Flemish, a German tongue, and a southern French language called Oc. Nevertheless, there was no lack of communication among them, and as we crossed the Pyrenees, they sang, played games, told stories, and in several cases had love affairs.
Right in front of me, and my baby.
While my baby and I kept mostly to ourselves.
They gave no fucks.
Ganz schön frech, die mit ihrem Kind.
I'm sure he's probably saying, I'm going to throw that baby on the fire if you can't keep it still.
Hush now.
Put your breast in front of its face and shut it up. Pretty sure apologizing to them is, let's just hum a song, see if it makes me even more pissed.
Richtig dreist.
Whatever that means. Rock the baby.
Kann ein Mann nicht einfach mal seine Ruhe haben? Der Weg aus Babenberg war doch anstrengend genug.
Okay, fine, fuck it.
I'm sorry. He has to cry himself out before he'll fall asleep. It will give you a strong voice one day, won't it?
Yeah.
Do you have children?
Ein Kind hat ja auch gar nichts verloren. Stimmt doch, oder?
I'm curious. I'm just gonna keep talking to the pilgrims.
Jetzt ist's aber gut.
How long have you been traveling to get here? I met pilgrims from as far
Let's
east
just make
as
her look really
Franconia.
stupid.
I am sorry. We'll go for a walk so you can get some rest.
Finally. Looks like they're gonna abandon us. Down the riverside, where there's probably trouble. Oh, can we help the blind woman? Who's just
Dear Lord, what are you doing?
stuck in the river.
You should get out of the water. It's freezing.
My ring. I lost my ring. Dear Lord, please show mercy.
I'll go in there and get sick instead.
back to me.
She's not
Please
listening.
come back to me.
Search for the ring. I guess keep looking.
Where are you? Where did you go?
Oh, there's a shimmer. I see it. It's not a firefly. Get out of the fucking water. Can I steal it?
I found it.
Yep. God showed you no mercy, but this human did.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You are a very kind woman. So very, very kind.
I'm glad I could help.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's see how karma plays into this.
Are you getting warmer?
I am, thank you.
Tell me about your ring.
I can see this ring is very precious to you.
It was a gift from my stepmother. She thought I would stay forever, but I didn't.
Why did you leave?
Why did you leave?
Oh,
Very personal.
I thought I didn't belong. She always said I was her daughter, but I was sure she was lying. I was so selfish and so stupid. Too stupid to see I really was happy.
Tell me about your stepmother.
She was such a kind woman. So very, very kind.
Maybe you really weren't happy.
Maybe you really weren't happy.
Just trying to argue with her justification, I guess.
Don't know. I was very young and thought I was unhappy because I didn't live close to the sea. But in the end, the sea did not feel the same about me. The cold there made me sick. It took away my sight.
Brilliant.
Why didn't you go back?
She had been so angry when I left. So angry and disappointed. She would have never let me return.
Oh, so you think.
Ah, that's why you went on the pilgrimage.
Yes. So that St. James might see my devotion, and I will be united with my mother in heaven. I'm just not as kind as you. Not kind at all.
You're too hard on yourself.
I don't know.
I too am trying to make amends with the one man I loved the most. I was told he went straight to Santiago.
You will know soon.
Not soon enough. It's still 4 weeks till I get there.
To travel
He'll
5
be
miles.
there, I'm sure of it.
I'm sure.
I hope so. I just feel that with every day that passes, I'm losing him a bit more. And that the only thing I can allow myself still to hope for is not love, but forgiveness.
I'm sure that baby will be a nice incentive.
I understand.
Hey, hush now. Not long now and our journey will be over,
Kind of curious what's going on with all the other characters. Camino de Santiago, also known as the Way of St. James, is a Christian pilgrimage route to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, where the remains of Jesus' apostle St. James the Greater were presumably put to rest. The pilgrimage was... What?
Never mind, continue.
The pilgrimage of Santiago, besides Jerusalem and Rome, is one of the most important pilgrimages in Christianity, and is believed to be one of the only ways to free a pilgrim of their sins. By the 12th century, it has become a well-organized undertaking. Even a book was written as a travel guide for pilgrims, the Codex Calixtinus, supporting the pilgrims in completing their travel. The scallop shell is used to guide the pilgrims on their way and serves as a symbol of St. James in the Camino, because at the end of their travel, the pilgrims will almost have reached the ocean. Interesting. Okay, good. No random decisions.
The woman's name was Alba. She came from a small town somewhere in Catalonia. I quickly got used to her constantly feeling out for her stepmother's ring and the sad guilt that would always follow in her milky eyes. I wasn't sure if she appreciated my company, but I couldn't leave her on her own either. By the time we reached Los Arcos, she'd stopped talking, while I kept on dropping a kind word here and there to let her know I was still by her side.
Neat.
Alba believed herself to be of weak mind and body, and yet she walked the Camino with a strong sense of purpose that willed her onward. It made me wonder about what I'd told her about my own journey. Did I hope for love, or was I really traveling because I needed him to forgive me?
A little bit of both.
What was there to forgive? My decision to marry Alfred had been in the best interest of the people of Shiring. It was a sacrifice I had to make to stop the evil reign of William Hamley. These questions had haunted me for a long time now. But if I really was going to see Jack soon, it was time to make up my mind. Around Lyon, the path began to gradually turn uphill. It was only 2 more weeks till we'd reached Santiago. The baby was in a good mood, and so, surprisingly, was Alba. After Astorga, the trail got more difficult. Alba became slower and slower, and we had to rest more. She became quiet again. The strain on her old body grew, and she worried that she might not be able to reach the end. Still, we managed to push onward. The next morning, she refused to get up. Her breathing was disturbingly shallow, and she hardly noticed me touching her forehead. Everything hurts, she said, and urged me to continue without her.
Damn. Leave without her, stay with her. Stay with her.
Of course, I stayed with her. I brought her food and water and sat by her side. But day after day, her condition grew worse. She kept on urging me to go, to find Jack, saying the monks of Ponferrada would take care of her.
No, let's continue to stay.
I'd hardly known her, and most of the time she'd tried to push me away, as if she considered herself a nuisance that slowed me down and who didn't deserve company.
Because she is.
It wasn't until a few moments before she died that, for the first time, she smiled at me, and I like to believe that she saw me smile back. I still like to believe that here, in this unlikely place, dying next to a near stranger, she'd found a moment of serenity and happiness. But she'd not reached Santiago. When I left, that thought still haunted me. To see that a journey could come to an end so suddenly.
That's reality.
But what would be different if she had reached Santiago? Could she have been disappointed by what she found?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Especially when she doesn't get healed. After 1 month of traveling on the way
After
of St.
months
James.
of hard travel, the child and I finally reached Santiago de Compostela. In the evening, we attended Mass in the great cathedral, then started to roam the town looking for my dear Jack. It was almost dawn when finally a priest pointed me to an inn close by.
Doggo! I'm gonna pet the doggo. You gonna sit by the fire, or talk to someone, or I guess not. Okay. Let's talk to innkeeper.
Buenos dias. Do you understand me?
Sinto-cho ben, pero non temos camas dispoñibles.
No, I don't need a room.
Is
I
that
was
what she
told
said?
a friend of mine stayed here some time ago. A red-haired Englishman called Jack. Do you remember him?
Eu só che falo en galego, miña rula.
Français? English?
Starting to forget details of his face. No, it hasn't been that long, has it?
I'm looking for a man who likes to read a lot.
Think she's gonna understand?
Sempre cun libro en riba.
Have you seen anyone like that?
Libre, I remember that. That's a book.
Por que levas un libro en riba?
Libro or something like that?
She
Reading?
doesn't even understand that I'm looking for a person yet.
Have you done any reading in the past, like, 6 months?
Who, me?
Yes.
Not proper reading, no. I need to do that. Show her the baby.
Oh, que cousiña. Eche rubio.
See, redhead. Have you seen his father, Padre del Niño? Jack Builder?
Ven sendo un peregrino?
What?
É un peregrino?
Oh, no. He's not a pilgrim.
Entón, quen ven sendo?
Point at something.
Let me show you something. He's a mason. He builds things like that.
Ah, eche masón. Albanel.
Sí, a mason. It's the same word in Galician.
Por aquí pasan unha morea de masóns. Non me poderías dicir algo máis sobre el?
Oín falar dun masón que dis que se dedica a traducir libros en Toledo.
Polo visto,
Toledo,
di que se chama Jack.
Yes, Jack. Have you seen him?
Non sei cal será o seu apelido, pero ben é certo que non chai moitos masóns rubios aos que lles
Translation?
guste ler. Se tan desesperada está, por que non vai a Toledo a comprobalo por si mesma?
Entón, marchou para Toledo.
He went to Toledo.
He went to Toledo?
A Toledo marchou, sí.
Di que o teu Jack podería estar en Toledo.
All right, so I will go to Toledo then. Gracias. I just pray that I understood you correctly.
We'll find out. The journey.
And you were wondering? Yes, I started in September.
Oh, okay. About 1 month after leaving Compostela.
Oh god, I need to teach you Spanish.
Compostela?
Compostela.
Compostela!
Oh.
Toledo.
I'll slap you with this phone.
What? This place is called Toledo.
Lito.
Toledo.
Buenos dias.
Buenos
Parlez-vous
dias.
français? English?
Of course. How may I help you?
I was told a man named Jack Builder lives in this house.
Who told you this?
A group of scholars living at the edge of town. They said he used to translate old scriptures about mathematics before he moved here.
Mathematics of
Please
the
wait
devil.
here. I will talk with Master Rashid.
Pillars, like the pillars of the earth. What is taking the servant so long? It's been over a minute. Take a peek inside. Curiosity. Hey! Okay, so we are onto something here. Go inside. What else can I touch? A slingshot. Well, shit, she...
It's his.
Now she knows she's on the right track. Jack was here. Alright, let's talk to a young woman with their arms crossed. I'm pretty sure it's like Jack's new lover or something. I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
May I ask who let you stroll around our house?
I was asked to wait here.
I was asked to wait here.
Yes, my servant told me already. My father's not here at the moment, so you'll have to make do with me. Unfortunately, I must disappoint you. There's no one called Jack living in this house.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Maybe he took a different name then.
I'm sorry, but this is not easy for any of us. I think you should know that Jack and I are promised to each other. Maybe we should go inside.
There you
the
go.
The sun's burning, and my mother doesn't need to hear us. Jack told me about you. You are Aliena. You're the one who rejected him and married his stepbrother.
Oh, snap. Drama. Drama, drama, drama.
And now you want him back.
I need my son to meet his father.
His father? The little one is Jack's son.
He is.
He always said that he had come here to find out about his family. But instead, he found out about everything else. About philosophy, mathematics. When he and my father met, it was love at first sight. They studied together and made great plans.
I'm sure they did. Love at first sight,
But in
huh?
the end, Jack would always start talking about his cathedral again. This great church he would build one day. Ribbed vaults and pointed windows. He'd ramble on about it for hours and stare up at that ceiling. We three sat here for hours and talked, and then in the evenings it would be just the two of us. So many strange ideas about the future. Some barely more than silly dreams. Others almost in arm's reach.
He always had his head in the clouds.
He always had his head in the clouds.
Heh.
Oh, yes.
And up his ass.
Well, he's not here anymore. My father had offered him work as a master builder here in Toledo.
Oh, she did call it Toledo.
I'm free to spend his evenings under vaults like this, with me as his wife. But in the end, he refused. Tell me, did you really marry his stepbrother?
I had to.
It was the hardest decision I ever made. But it also felt like a sacrifice I had to make to fulfill a promise I made to my father. It was all for nothing. I thought I had no choice. I didn't want to hurt him. Believe me.
I do. You know, he left me because of you.
Love.
Even after all you did to him, he couldn't let go. You can be glad that you ran into me and not my mother. She was enraged when he left.
He can have that effect on people.
But apart from that, we made our peace with him. Father even gave him one of his favorite pieces of his collection as a parting gift.
The weeping statue.
A small wooden statue with stone eyes, in exchange for his slingshot.
Would you mind telling me where he went?
And the
He went to
slingshot.
Paris, to work on the Cathedral of Saint-Denis. He said he never found out about his father, so there was no reason to stay down here anymore.
Paris?
Yes. If you find him there, tell him I don't miss him.
Thank you and all the best.
Thank you. And all the best to your family.
Thank you. What is the child's name, by the way?
He has none yet. I wouldn't name him without Jack.
Isn't that a bit silly?
Yes.
Maybe.
No, yeah, it is.
But he's his son as well as mine. It's his right to have a say in it too.
Then off to Paris. That baby needs a name.
He will get one. Thank you.
Yep. Off to Paris. They're taking the long way, I see, huh? Google Maps fucks up again.
I travelled back along the Way of St. James, passing through Astorga, Lyon, and Burgos. I crossed the Pyrenees, revisiting Bordeaux, Angoulême, Poitiers, but never stayed longer than one night. The closer I came to Paris, the stronger my old doubts and fears resurfaced.
Why? You already know that he loves you.
If Jack really was there, what was I to say to him?
I'm sure I would slap him. Pull him very, very
pull
close.
him very, very close, wishing for all the wounds to heal as quickly as they could.
And slap him. I kind of want a good story to play out here, so more 3 months, more 3 months later. Okay, another 3 months. Paris.
You're playing fucking Civ. 300 years later.
One more turn.
Just one more block.
Alicia of Saint Denis. Denis. That baby's never left that sack. Jack's slingshot smashed the worker.
Jack must be here somewhere.
So let's look for clues. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He's working on a thing right there. That's him right there. It's right there. He's right there. Fucking he's right there. God damn it, talk to him.
There. Are we awake then? You almost missed this. Look at these colorful windows. Look at the light.
Oh shit. Familiar voice. Kind of jumped up a bit there. Yes.
Ali.
We came to see you, Jack.
We? Is he?
He is your son.
My son?
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. Ali, where do we go from here?
Wherever we go,
Well, that was quick.
I want to go with you.
Will you marry me? Both of you.
We will.
Charming.
We stayed in Paris as husband and wife. And our son, Tommy. The days went by quickly. Jack had learned much working as a builder in Saint-Denis. Days became months.
Months
Then
became
after
years.
a year, we both grew restless. Where can we go from here? We asked ourselves again.
Onward to the
We both
stars.
confessed that we wanted to see our families, our friends.
Oh, they're going back to Kingsbridge,
And
aren't
then we
they?
knew where we wanted to go. Home. Even if it was in shambles.
It's all coming full circle. Back to the harbor.
Hurry. The ship to England will leave soon.
What's going on here?
Whatever it is, if the crowd doesn't clear up, we'll miss our ship.
Jonglei, crowd's about to beat him up. Should help him. Angry mob. Oh, it's always good to. It's always easy to persuade an angry mob.
Excuse me.
What's going on here?
He's a thief. He told us lies and stole our money.
But isn't that just a simple jongleur?
That poor man. We need to help him.
Yeah, maybe they're right. The horse might distract him, or make it all worse. Smells of beer. It's always promising.
Do you know what's going on?
Oh, chaos. I can't get these people to calm down. God knows I tried.
No, you didn't.
What happened?
The jongleur told the crowd a few stories. Then he sold people some miracle charms.
Like
but
an
it
idiot.
was just fairy tales and painted stones.
Well, it always is.
I know, but I'd need a real miracle to calm them down now. Otherwise, they'll rip him apart.
Useful in our luggage, eh? Oh, yes.
This isn't the right place. No.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
Neither do I.
Is there a way to look at my inventory? I can't remember. But I'm gonna save real quick here. Oh, that okay. Luggage is right there. The weeping statue. I bet you any money comes into play. Wood slightly damp.
She doesn't do anything yet, but if I stood with her where it's colder...
Shady spot. Okay.
Do you see? It's working.
Your friend Rashid must be quite the miracle worker.
There are no miracles. Oh, show it to the mob. You're making Mary cry. Fuck off, crowd.
Look! What's going on? The Holy Mother. She's crying.
Look at her.
Revere the Holy Mother, for she has blessed us with a sign from the heavens. Cease your doings right now and witness the miracle. It's true. Lord in heaven. Why is she crying?
Because we need to take the ship. Oh, man.
She
so many wrong answers.
Sins. What has this man done to you that you would treat him like a wild animal?
He tricked us and took our coin.
And you would kill him for your own foolishness.
The Holy Virgin weeps, for you are not living by the word of God.
It is the Mother of God.
Forgive us, Holy Mother. Where did she come from?
Yes. Come up with a story.
For hundreds of years, she languished in the land of the Saracens. Dormant, she has been waiting for the one to bring her home.
Listen to what he has to say. The Holy Virgin has chosen this young family to protect her. Tell us all where you are headed.
Her destination is beyond these waters. In the small town of Kingsbridge, in the earldom of Shiring. There she wants to rest.
Kingsbridge?
Yes.
Where's
Take
that?
advantage of their stupidity.
Hail Mary!
Make way for the Holy Virgin!
Hallelujah!
The only virgin that existed.
Huh?
Blessed Mary, let my daughter conceive.
Give us a good harvest!
They're donating to ask for her blessing.
Oh. The weeping Madonna shall hear your prayer. And with your donations, I shall build her a new shrine at Kingsbridge, a cathedral.
It's you.
What?
Who do you mean?
You. The red-haired ghost.
Ghost?
A ghost?
My husband is very much alive. I've known him since he was 12 years old.
But he drowned. By God, you drowned. 24 years ago.
Huh?
On the white ship. My poor
Oh.
son.
That's his father.
His name was Jacques.
Jacques Cherbourg.
Jacques Cherbourg.
That's what his father was. He try not to think about your upcoming journey on the ship of Normandy. You listen to the young mason's advice and headed to Lacey first. You and your baby fell seriously ill, but you both managed to survive, thankfully. You helped another pilgrim along the way to St. James. You snuck into Rashid's sacred archive. You stole Jack's slingshot from Rashid. You found Jack in Paris. You decided to go back to Kingsbridge. Saved John Gallier from a lynch mob. You met Jack's grandmother and finally learned about the fate of his father. I think that, with that, we'll get to the intro to the next part and save and continue on probably either tomorrow or Saturday. Chapter 16. Probably tomorrow. Home. Or Sunday. Kingsbridge. Earth.
So much has grown. But there are no roots, no herbs.
Kingsbridge is still in shambles.
What are you looking at, Jonathan?
Philip.
The garden is in disorder.
Like your hair.
I want it to be right again, but I don't know how to do it.
Before I became prior, I thought the same about Kingsbridge.
Well, what did you do?
I cleaned up.
Where do we start?
Oh, let's see. Pluck the weeds first.
Some plants are weeds and must go before we can plant new seeds.
What are weeds?
They take away what the other plants need to grow. Light, water, room.
What do we do?
Pluck them. They look a lot like every other plant, so you need to learn how to tell them apart. Here, you see those? They're called wood sorrel. Let's pluck only those for now.
I'll do it.
If you insist. Make sure to pull out all of the thin roots.
And now what do I do?
Piss on it. Set it ablaze. Loosen the soil.
For plants to take root, the soil must be loose and fertile.
So, may I dig now?
I guess yes.
Done. What's next?
Plant the seeds, and then water the seeds.
Stay here. I'll be right back.
This is very, very intense storytelling right now. How shall we plant the seeds, Father Philip, in the cathedral garden area?
Now, where did you put them?
Oh yes, they're here, right up my ass the entire time.
Ah, here they are. You always said you wanted to plant these seeds and make a new garden, Milius. I think it's about time.
If they're still good, how long they've been sitting there? Milius' specter.
What did you bring?
Do you remember Milius? A kind man with a warm smile. Well, he told me to give you this.
Wow.
Easily impressed, Jonathan.
Now we just have to wait.
All right. How long?
Too long for us to keep sitting here.
That long.
Yeah, no shit.
Some things take time. And only with patience will you receive your reward.
Why do we have to do all these things if all we had to do is wait?
Simply waiting would not have been enough, Jonathan.
Things happen if you just wait.
Pave the way for things to take their course. They are happening right now. And in a few days' time, we will return and see the first green leaf of something new.
Oh. Is it God's reward?
Sure.
Maybe.
Does he make things grow?
No.
You made it.
No. I just planted the seed.
Suggest to water the seed. Sounds like a good idea.
Now you can fetch some water from the rain barrel.
But that water's smelly. It's been there forever. There are many trees by the river. I bet that water's better.
That's a longer walk, though.
I don't mind. The distance is worth it.
Let him do it.
You're right. It is worth it. Let's walk together then.
But I'll carry the bucket.
Dear Liza, dear Liza. Kingsbridge later that day. Now that we're done with that excitement.
What's gotten into Philip?
Rationality got into Philip.
Our church lies in ruins.
No shit.
But all of this, these dire times, have revealed something important to us. Something that, maybe until today, I wasn't aware of.
What do you mean?
Claim that they don't need a church. Claim that God doesn't watch them. Oh. Well, considering the time and place. Fuck it, let's do this.
God doesn't watch us from above.
Blasphemy!
While you and I have waited for God to make things better, a lot has happened. Hardships and happiness. Yesterday, I heard the choir sing a new chant and was moved beyond words. Today, Jonathan tended to our garden to make it beautiful again. And he told me of things I almost had forgotten. God doesn't work in the ways we might assume. All good and all evil the scripture tells us about are not out there or in here. They are within each of us.
Claim that man is the devil. Claim that man is God. Let's be a progressive in this time and era and get lynched.
God made us in his image.
God made us in his image.
Thus, we carry the godly spark within us.
But we have witnessed that man can have the devil in his heart as well. Prayer needs no special place, for we are his church.
Yes, the church is within you.
In our actions, he exists.
We are God's temple.
No man is closer to God than any other man. Whether you pray in church or on the streets of our towns.
Yeah, because he doesn't exist.
Whether you're a man, woman,
But this is a good compromise, I guess.
Philip, look outside. You have to see them. You've got to see the horses and the colours.
Jonathan.
I burned them, Philip. Sure, let's listen to him.
Now, what's going on?
I heard noises and I went to look.
Calm down. What happened?
But the priest said they brought a miracle.
Who? What? What priest?
Step right up, brothers and sisters. For you are about to see something that will change your life.
I smell a bullshit.
Who is that?
They brought us a miracle.
A miracle?
Don't be shy. There is no danger. Just awe that awaits you here.
And gullibility. I mean, swindling.
You must be Prior Philip. I am Brother Reynold. I have been sent by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Here is his letter, in case you have reasonable doubts.
Oh man, they really fucking banked on that weeping statue all the way to the fucking home. Letter from the Archbishop. Philip of Kingsbridge, I hereby implore you to accept the grace of the Weeping Madonna, for she has chosen Kingsbridge as her shrine. After the rumors of a miracle had come to my ears, I had called for the procession to see me. I then saw it with my own eyes. She is real. I have claimed the miracle for England and had intended to retain her in Winchester. The guardians of the Madonna have convinced me otherwise. They have come to England only to support the rebuilding of Kingsbridge. You have my blessings, Philip of Kingsbridge. I expect you to restore your prior to be worthy of the Holy Madonna. Theobald, Archbishop of Canterbury.
We've been charged to accompany the Weeping Madonna. She is to replace the loss of your relic, Saint Adolphus the Martyr, who was taken from you, I hear, with brute force.
What?
Is Phil gonna like this?
On her travel from far away Africa, she has collected donations to reward Kingsbridge for your faith in her and in the Lord.
I can't believe this. What is all this?
You do believe. That is why she came. And that is why you shall witness her miracle for yourself today. The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named Africa. A baptized Saracen was her former guardian. And I and the custodians of the Holy Virgin were chosen to take her on a journey.
Don't question him.
Please, tell us more.
Of course. My words shall prepare you for the sight of the Holy Madonna. I knew not her powers or destination. Nevertheless, I carried her for many miles. Many bore witness to her miracle. Before it dawned upon me. She wanted to go home. But where? It came to me in a dream. It was Kingsbridge.
Excuse me. Don't interrupt.
But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter? This time, it was the Madonna herself who answered my questions.
Hey!
Shh! She said, "You shall build me a new..." So we set off, with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald of Canterbury. And
Okay.
along the road...
I think this is a good time as any to end it, since the day job's going to be calling. We'll save it right here. That worked out pretty good. Till next week.